Out there exists an easier platform to use than Git. A way better distributed version control system may actually exist out there. Could this be the successor of Git? Well, maybe. This video might come off as a stupid tech take to a lot of more experienced developers out there who are aware of these, facilities we have. But for those that don't know, there is actually a distributed version control system. I might just call it a, what do you say? DVCS? DVCS. There exists out there an easy and simple way of doing this. Because those who do not understand, Git can be a real pain in the ass. There are more than 100 commands and a lot of technical debt just racked up over the years. Now honestly, I don't blame anyone for wanting to just get away from it, but it seems pretty tough since it's literally the industry everywhere. However, I have some friends here who simply just don't like to go outside and they like doing things. One of these things would be an AI notes on Fossil. So it's vibe coded, so I guess it's not too much effort, but don't worry. Shout out to Axo. I'll put his GitHub and I'll put his socials in the description. But anywho, the main difference between these two is how much more lightweight Fossil is. If I want to use Fossil right now, all it takes is just me to run Fossil, and there's a bunch of commands here, and they put it right here. That is all there is to this program. But if I went to Git, first off, we need subcommands and concept guides, and it really just keeps on going, and there's a lot of flags, and it's because, dude, it was made so long ago. What can you say? But is it to say it's not useful? Of course not. I use Git every day. I use it if I want to just update something to my GitHub, if I want to just pull request something to someone else's code. Like, bro, I understand. But the conclusion I've just been coming to is that there are more simple ways out there, and we have to do it. So thankfully, the creator of SQLite himself decided to do something. Originally, Fossil was designed for a self-hosted environment. D. Richard Hip made it because it just fit his use case a lot better. Git was not doing a whole lot for him because it is just a version control system. That is all there is to it. He made a wiki feature, he made notes, and he also made a very interesting feature that doesn't allow you to correct your history. So I guess it can verify the integrity more, but that's not really a whole lot to do at this point, but let's get more into it. So using this little guide here, let's try to make something nice. It's not a lot to it, but I do remember you have to initialize it first. So if I want to initialize something for the video, I'll do fossil init. Actually, first we do need to get the directory, that is true. And the directory would just be called for my YouTube. Boom. That is incredibly sexy, I must say. If you don't know, you should probably get your shell configs down because this is a lot sexier. Thankfully, someone did a lot of this work for me. Axo. So now it's actually initialize it. Fossil init. So I already did one earlier just to make sure it was working because I wanted to get fluent in this. I did a bunch of research for this video because I'm not going to provide a bunch of bullshit to you guys. So now, after this, we're going to call it better than Git. So there's an admin password here. I'm going to blur it out because I don't want one of you guys doing some reverse engineering bullshit like Albanian Neil technique to get on me. Now that you made it, you actually need to open it. Fossil open better than Git. As you can see, we only have one check-in. So this probably does configure really well with Vim, and this video is going to be a lot more technical. But anywho, now we need to make a file. My dog just farted and it smells so bad. So anywho, we are in better than Git. Now we're just going to do touch. You can't be breaking while making a video. Sorry for all the errors, guys. It's been a little bit frustrating. I can't really code in C, to be honest with you. That's like one of the only languages I've not done at all. So this could be a little rough. How about I just do touch fun.go? Oh, fuck, how many times do I have to run this bullshit? Oh, you worked, you son of a bitch. Commands get really fugly really fast. Anywho, code fun.go. So there's not a whole lot to this file, to be honest with you. fmt.println. Yo. So yeah, not a whole lot to it. Although you could do, don't worry about this file, close out. Now that you have this, you can just list what's in here. So obviously we have a few files here, like that cute little gopher logo. And then you can just do fossil add foo.c fun.go. Boom, added. Then we can just commit it, and it's gonna ask us for a message. Yo, this is for YouTube. And there you go. You can do fossil timeline to find out what the timeline is. And as you can see, there's two hashes there. So we can actually do there. Sorry, I couldn't figure it out. I didn't do a whole lot of research on the syntax. But anywho, very simple. Boom. So now I can sit here and react to you about this. So it's just always me struggling to use bash for a little bit, and that's fine. It was just PowerShell. However, such tools like this are very unique because it's funny, the original implementation of this was actually for self-hosting. So this could be a completely wrong use case, but if you notice over the years, Fossil has actually implemented a lot of changes to suit their projects for better, larger projects. And the main thing was their self-hosting, which self-hosting became a lot more prominent after PewDiePie decided to drop some videos just praising it as if it's the best thing in the world. And you got some backlash from Twitter saying it's not the most secure, and it's not. But if you do the right thing, then it's all yours. It's like using C. You got to make sure you're just doing everything right. It's the most basic way of thinking. And it is stated many times on their website that if you want to build Linux, you use Git. But if you want to build a database, then you'd use Fossil. And to me, this technology is very new, so I'm just as new to this as most of you guys are. But if anyone knows more about this, please comment down below. I want to hear your input really bad. Anywho, thanks so much for watching. Please follow me on Twitter. I beg you. You guys are gonna watch me deal with Bash this whole video, but thanks so much for watching. Take care. So the video is actually not over. We're gonna go over some threads. It's on white mode. I know. Just please delete that hate comment. We have stuff to get to. A lot of common threads here will be, hey, why does no one hate Git as much as I do? Like, does anyone else hate it as much as I do? And trust me, when you first use it, you're like, what the hell, dude? Let me just post my code. But anywho, these can just go on and on and on. There's always at least one thing wrong with it. Linus Torvalds himself even said he didn't like Git. He said it was the worst creation he ever made because, you have all the bloats, whatever. By learning how to use Git, you need to inherently know how to use a CLI in the first place. And honestly, when you are learning the code, that is not going to be your main interest. So that is kind of harmful to the new people. There are full-scaled roadmaps for becoming an engineer on DevOps. You have to work with operating systems, you know your terminal knowledge, and there's a lot to it. And of course, this is not to say you need to learn this to know how to use Git, but there's a lot that goes on in these sort of systems, and it's very nuanced. And to throw Git at someone is kind of tough. So it's perfectly understandable why you would want to learn how to use Fossil. It has very few commands, and it's like you're just speaking English. So it's a pretty cool implementation. Anywho, I'd add that comment there because I didn't say it in this video. I was more focused on making it work. The original recording was about 30 minutes. And if you notice, the video is definitely not 30 minutes. So just try to put the pieces of the puzzle together. Anywho, thank you so much for watching. For real this time. Goodbye.